time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure, so let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the real cabin with Dan DeFord.
The real cabin up
north.
Up north, kind of.
Up North Journal.
Not as far north as my cabin, but
up north.
Up north.
We're in northern Michigan.
We're in a very cold northern Michigan.
Snow.
Light snow.
Ice.
Ice.
Wind.
And it's December, so hey,
it's
welcome
cold.
to Michigan.
The lakes are freezing over.
They are. You know what? And it's one of those things. It's the typical. Everybody forgot what happens in December around here.
At least the people on the road did.
Yes, they did. A couple times this week. From
Absolutely. So yeah, we're hanging out at deer camp. I'm up at my place. Dan came up. Randy came up, and we had a group of kids come up from Backwater Legacy, and we've been up here for three days, I believe. 2 days. I can't remember. I came up Friday after work, and today is Sunday. No,
right.
No, today's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. I lost track. So I guess we've been up here 2 days. So no, okay. I came up Thursday. I take that back.
You came up Thursday night after work.
I took a day off work. So
okay.
See what happens at camp? You lose track of time.
You do, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. So, but we've got some people we want to talk to. We've had a good time out in the field. We've seen a lot of deer. We've had deer taken. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, about the experiences that these kids had up here. So, Dan, why don't we take our first break? We'll step outside, and we'll save the time for here and rock with these kids here.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet. I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families of Field program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters of field are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesoffield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. We're still at deer camp. We're going to be here all night hanging out. Actually, they're all going to leave us tonight.
Yeah, you know what? It's like we were just talking in the first segment. It's December and things can happen, and we happen to have a little bit of snow heading our way.
Yeah, so these kids got to get back to southern Indiana, so they're going to hit the road tonight and get out of camp early.
Actually, it's not going to hit us up as hard up this far north. It's
yeah.
actually south of us that's going to get it.
Right on, from like mid-Michigan all the way back down to the state line.
We get to drive in it tomorrow.
Maybe we'll stay up here another day.
No.
No?
You are. I'm not. Someone's got to be at work on Monday morning.
Right on. Well, I'll tell you what, we're talking today. We got 3 kids up here, and the first one we're talking to is Laramie DeFord. Laramie, you're from what city?
Spencer.
Spencer, Indiana, which is between Terre Haute and Bloomington, I think you told me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, rock on. So now you're 17. You came up here with Backwater Legacy. This trip was for the cadet. You guys are junior cadets, right?
Junior Councelors.
That's right, counselors. I'm sorry. You counsel the cadets. My mistake. So this was kind of a reward trip for the things that you guys have done for Backwater, and you got to come up here and hunt at our camp. And we're doing a doe management hunt. So we were kind of particular about what we were looking for, and we wasn't just going to turn them loose on brown it's down. And it made them. They had to learn a lot of things, Dan.
Well, you know what? From what I'm hearing, I just got up here today, and what I'm hearing, yeah, it was a little tough. You seem to be seeing a lot of little bucks all of a sudden.
We have a ton of button bucks up here, and when you're trying to decipher between is that a doe, is that a 1.5-year-old doe, or is that a button buck, it makes you sit and look. And how many deer did we look at tonight?
Oh, I think we looked about 20 of them.
At least, and you tried to make sure that there was no buttons on top. But did you find it hard to be able to tell the difference between them when we were out there?
Yeah, they all looked the same, except for you had to look really close at the head of their head to see if it was there's little bumps, and sometimes you can't even tell if there's a bump or not. You just had to look at the size and look to compare them to other deer.
Look at the head structure. Another thing we look for is the tarsal glands on them.
That's a big giveaway when you're trying to decipher what's going on around here. And
they're moving. You're 150 yards away looking at them.
Exactly. I was just about to say, and they're not that close.
Right on.
So, and that's one of the things. A learning aspect is learning what your target is. Right.
Right on.
So
when we're doing QDM up here, and that's the one thing, even with bucks, learn how big is a buck. Instead of looking at antler structure, we're looking at body size, body types. Is a 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5-year-old buck, and learning what that animal is and trying to judge it somewhat correctly,
right,
and making a judgment while it's on the hoof.
You know what? And that's something that takes years and years to learn. It's not something you can just look at a book, read it, and okay, you're good.
Right on, and that just comes with practice in the field. But Laramie, we had an interesting hunt tonight, to say the least.
How was this? How was this? Before you go there, yesterday I wasn't here yesterday. How was yesterday?
He didn't hunt with me yesterday. Gavin did. So, but
okay, so
I'll let you interview him about his experience yesterday.
All right, that'll work. So, Laramie, this is your first time hunting in Michigan?
Yeah.
All right. So, take me through how yesterday went, because you drove up Thursday or Friday?
We drove up Thursday night and got here real early Friday morning. I think about 4 or 5 o'clock.
So you guys slept in Friday morning?
Well,
it's okay. Trust me. I know about getting in late, and yeah, you're gonna hunt the next day.
They were hunting Feather Ridge.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad thing sometimes, because sometimes that wins the mental game. So, okay, so you got out for the evening hunt last night?
Yeah.
All right, so you were sitting in a box blind?
Yep.
Excellent. Who was guiding you?
David Boggs.
Oh, David Boggs was guiding you. Oh, that ought to be pretty good. So how was it? Well, what did you see out there?
Oh, we seen a bunch of button bucks, and we seen one doe, but she was awfully small, so I figured I'd let her get a little bit bigger.
So you let her go and let them grow, right?
Yep.
Ask him about how hot it was in the blind.
How hot it was in the blind? Well, hold on. Yesterday, it was pretty chilly outside, but it was hot in the blind? Okay, you got to explain this.
It was really hot in the blind. It felt like I was...
You had a heater.
Oh, well, we had a heater, but the tank wasn't working. I think the tank might have been empty or something, but so the heater wouldn't work.
Uh-oh. So it wasn't hot in the blind. It got cold.
Oh, it was really cold.
Disclaimer, I had nothing to do with that blind, setting that up. That was not my heater.
Oh, is that... Okay, so that's your disclaimer?
Yeah, I just want to make that clear.
So it got a little chilly out in the blind then?
Oh, yeah. My toes, they were numb for about an hour or two.
You know it's cold when when body parts become numb? Yeah, you're right. I know that for a fact when I was hunting tonight. But so you excited to see deer, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. I was more excited to see deer than just sit there and not see anything.
I tell you what, that's one of the things that I've learned with any type when we're out with people. Just seeing what you're going after makes a world of difference mentality. Because back in the day, they'd go up hunting, we'd go to the UP, and if you saw 5 deer for a week, you were ecstatic. Kind of worries you.
Well, and that's what I've learned talking with everybody here from Indiana. They're saying, some of these kids are saying, we see 2, 3, 4 deer, in a week when they're out, and it's, we're seeing 15 usually in the evening. I think this morning we saw 3.
Okay.
In the blind that I was in.
Right.
8 in another one.
And that makes a world of difference. So it's just one of those things. So no shots last night. You froze your butt off.
Yeah, it was. Last night was cold.
So that was David Boggs' fault.
Oh.
Your guide's fault. Just blame the guide. It's okay. You can do that. So that brings us to today. What happened in this morning's hunt?
We were walking out there. Then I think we seen.
Not this morning. That was this evening. This morning we seen. I think we saw 3 or 4, something like that.
So you were guiding him today?
Yeah, he was sitting with me. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting back in a blind. I had the first day I had Gavin with me, and then today I had Laramie with me.
Oh, okay. So you got out this morning, saw some deer.
Yeah.
That's good. That kept you warm, right? Was it warm in the blind?
Oh yeah, this blind.
Blind
we
worked.
heaters.
Well, it's because David Boggs was guiding you yesterday. It's just one of those things. But good. That makes for a little bit better of a sit in this weather.
But now I will say this: it got a little chilly this morning, and I told Laramie, I said, "You getting a little cold?" "No, I'm all right." I go, "Well, I'm getting cold. I'm going to turn the heat on." I learned my lesson yesterday when I was hunting with Gavin. I was going to tough it out. I said, "Gavin, you getting a little cold?" "No, I'm fine." I'm like, well, man, I'm not going to admit to this kid here that I'm
you're
cold.
trying to outlast him.
So I'm trying to outlast him, and hour goes by. "Gavin, you cold?" "No, I'm fine." "You sure you don't want me to turn the heater on?" No, I'm fine." Doggone it. But today I'm like, "No, Laramie, we're lighting the heater." So I go to light the heater, it wouldn't light. And I'm like, uh-oh. I'm thinking it's Laramie's problem because he didn't have heat the day before. So I thought he was the one that was jinxing it.
Jinxing it.
And I like, do you have a tank, a propane tank in this? "Yeah, they put a propane tank in it." And I opened it up. No, there's no propane tank in it. So luckily we had, I think, 3 with us. He brought 2 and I brought 1. So
Whoa.
Put it in, lit right up. But yeah, we had heat today.
There you go.
We stayed warm. Matter of fact, he was roasting his toes over the open fire.
There you go. That's not a bad deal. So that took you for this morning's hunt, no shots. No. So then I showed up, and then we headed out for the evening hunt. And how was the evening hunt?
We seen a lot on the evening hunt, and we were walking out there, and we saw one in the pine trees. Then we kept on walking to our blinds. We dropped a guy was using a bow. We dropped him off, and we started walking. Saw her, kept on walking, and saw 2 more, and they ran off. And we got the blind. We were sitting there. Then we saw 2 off in a far distance, and they went in front of other people.
And something happened when they got over there, but we'll talk about that later. That's what happens when you're hunting with other people on the property. It's that luck thing.
Yeah. The 2 he's talking about, they were probably 200 yards out.
Okay.
And I was glassing them, and it looked like 2 decent does, and yeah, they had it over to another blind.
Yep, exactly.
A little while later, we heard some commotion. So,
okay.
But yeah, you got to about, I guess it's about 5 to 5, and then he starts telling me, "Hey, deer." So I'll let you go ahead and you can ask him.
So about 5 to 5, some other deer started to show up in your field.
Yeah, about 6 of them walked out, and I was looking over there, and we were looking through the binoculars, and we found the doe, and I think there was a couple does in there. So I found the biggest one, picked her out. I had the sights on her, and I was waiting for her to stop, and she stopped. I flicked the safety off, had the finger on the trigger, and I had her just perfect. She was standing broadside about 70 yards.
Perfect shot, broadside.
Perfect shot.
Can't go wrong with that.
Nothing can go wrong.
Then you pull the trigger,
and the cap goes off and doesn't misfire.
Oh, so you had a small bang, but no big boom.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Had my other primers in my bag.
What'd the deer do when that happened? What did the deer do?
They kind of stood up and started looking around, put their tail up. And they didn't run off. They kind of started walking around a little bit, and had my guide. He asked me where I put the primers. I told him they were in my bag. So by the time he got the primers out, the deer were already gone.
Oh man! But you got to draw. You got to pull a trigger on one, but you just didn't connect.
Yep.
That is, you know what? For a lot of people, that takes a long time just to get to that point.
Well, and that's we were talking. That would have been the first deer he killed. I mean, I'm heartbroken. I was just like, man, not again, because that's what happened to me last year.
Yeah, it happened to you
last year. On that 8 point,
Yep.
and I remembered what I went through after snapping on that 8 point, and we got the primer in. The deer, they kind of sauntered on off, and
you didn't have a chance. They were gone.
They were gone. Yeah,
okay,
you know,
yeah.
and I just kept thinking, I was like, just one more opportunity, please, one more opportunity. Just give them another opportunity. And we're sitting there talking, and dude, I got to say, I'm really impressed by the way you handle it, because I'm upset about it, because I wanted to see him get a deer,
right?
You know, and get his first one. But he's like, don't worry about it. He says, it's okay. He said, I had an opportunity. He says, that, you know, I'm happy with that. And I'm just like, really? You know, I mean, you got these kids up here, and we see kids today that, you know, they expect so many different things, you know, and the attitudes with some of the kids nowadays. But we didn't see that this weekend. You know, they're just happy to be up here, you know.
So your overall reaction, first time hunting up here in Michigan, muzzleloading, what do you think?
Oh, it was really a great experience. I mean, different landscape, different temperatures, a lot colder. A lot colder.
Welcome to Michigan. Yeah. But no, that's awesome. And you know what? You got to have a good attitude, because you know what'll happen next time. You'll get one. You just got to stick with it.
Absolutely. And, you know, you put your time in. You know, talking back with Clint Turner years ago when I was over in Illinois, he told me, he says, you got to put about 40 hours in stand to have an encounter with a shooter buck, you know, whatever you deem a shooter is, you know. And that's pretty much true. I'm going on hour 82 right now, you know, and I have one good encounter this year with Night Train. So I think I'm due, and we're going to try again tomorrow morning.
Before we skedaddle. And,
right on. So,
but no, I'm glad to hear you had a great time, and hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having a whole day to sit and stand with Laramie. It really was. Even though he roasted his toes over the open fire, it wasn't too bad.
Nice.
It wasn't too bad, but no, his feet were a little cold, so he pulled the boot off, put his toes over the open flame there, and got him warmed up. And I will say, dude, next time you come to Michigan, get some boots. Get some winter boots, not cowboy boots, but some winter boots. Okay.
All right.
Proper footwear.
Right on.
Goes a long ways.
Yeah. And David, next time, man, David Boggs just walked in. Make sure that you take care of your kids and make sure they got heat. You know, I don't know what's up with you guiding down there on that field with no heat, you know.
For men in Indiana, we don't have to have a blind that's got heat.
Yeah.
To toughen it.
Well, I don't know. Laramie was freezing, man. The kid come out of here with frostbite, I think. But well, I'll tell you what. Let's step outside. We take our next break. We come back. We're going to talk to another one of these kids up here that had some fun, and we'll be right back after this.
So what do you do when you've completely redefined the way bows are engineered? When you've reached the pinnacle and the band starts playing your victory song, you start a revolution out of thin air. Introducing the all-new PSE Carbon Air, engineered with true carbon technology to be the lightest high-performance bow in the world. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back to our next segment, folks. We're sitting here talking deer hunting up here at deer camp, doing a little doe management hunt with the kids from Backwater Legacy down in southern Indiana.
It's kind of funny to me. You're hunting with the kids, but the guides seem to be fighting the most.
I know. The whole deal between us three, I think, was making sure that who the better guide was, making sure getting kids on deer and who had the best opportunities and all that kind of stuff. But truth be known, the kids saw a lot of deer this week, or these 2 days. They all had opportunity.
That's all that matters.
So it was a good time. But joining us now, I know somewhere down the road we're related in some way because she's got the same awesome last name as Adams, Erica Adams. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello.
So
she has the same last name as you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're cousins somewhere down the road. I don't know, but yeah, we're shoestring relatives. Got to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Your family tree's a stick, dude.
No.
No. Adams is like Smith.
That's
Come
right.
on.
That's right. So,
well, Erica, talk to me here. You came up with everybody on Friday morning, got in here nice and early. You were out bright and early Friday morning hunting, weren't you?
Oh, no. I was in bed Friday morning. I went out in the afternoon.
Oh.
Feather Ridge
again. Okay, we're 2 for 2 on that one. First time hunting in Michigan?
Yes.
First time muzzleloading?
Yes.
How do you like muzzleloading?
Well, I'm an archery person, so that wasn't my favorite.
Wasn't your favorite? Oh, really?
Spoken like a true Adams.
Okay, so tell me how you did Friday evening in your hunt. Who was your guide?
My guide was Rick Rangel. He's one of our volunteers at camp. And we saw about 20 to 25 deer.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, did you have the same problem as everybody else did with a lot of the button bucks?
Yes, there was a lot of button bucks. We probably saw about 2 does, but the yearlings kept getting in front of them, and you just couldn't get a good shot at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice protection. Like Secret Service, jump in front
They
of you.
had their own Secret Service protection here. She had an opportunity, but it just didn't pan out from what I heard.
All right, so that was okay. So Friday evening, you're out there, you're seeing deer. Were you warm in your blind?
Yes, I was warm.
Well, okay, so you had heat on unlike another blind that was cold.
Who took care of that blind and set it up?
That would be Mike Adams.
That would be the other Mike Adams.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're sitting in a blind. You have heat. Poor Laramie was freezing on Friday with his guide, but you weren't able to get any shots.
No, I was not.
But you saw a deer, which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't beat that. Were any in bow range?
Oh yeah, we had a button buck at I want to say 35.
Oh, nice. But it was a button buck.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Friday. How was Saturday morning's hunt?
I was freezing.
Well, who's your guide?
David Boggs.
Oh, there's a theme there.
There's a theme running here. I took care and had heat in all the blinds that I was responsible for, but David froze his kids to death.
That's what it kind of seems to be the going theme here. He's 2 for 2 in the cold department. But, okay, so Saturday morning, you're out there shivering, freezing. Did you see any deer?
We saw a 7-point, and it got as close as probably 25, 30 yards.
Oh.
But it was inside the ears, so I couldn't get it.
Yeah, there's some rules. You can't break the rules. Was it a nice-looking deer?
Yes, it was.
So
was that the closest you've been to a big buck? I mean, a buck of that size?
Yes.
So you're ready to drop the hammer on it?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely was.
You're not gonna have to ask that question twice. I'll tell you that right now. But it was inside the ears, and it was a little basket rack.
Yes.
Have you seen that one on camera?
I probably got him on camera. We've got 4 or 5 different ones like that running around here that we chose to pass on this year. Most of them are big 1.5, smaller 2.5. So, I haven't really sat down and really scaled them yet. But, we've got some nice potential here, coming next year, hopefully. So
yeah, and you got the button bucks following it right up.
Yeah.
And that also, she's seen bucks. She's seen button bucks. She wasn't able to shoot at anything on Saturday morning or this morning. What about this evening's hunt?
Well, we saw 2 button bucks, a spike, and then there was a doe. She looked pretty decent-sized doe at 300 yards. So that was a no-go.
Whoa! That was a distance. You mean David Boggs didn't tell you to aim high and shoot?
No.
While you're shivering, it might work.
Okay, so we finally got the heater to work in the afternoon, so we were pretty toasty in that little bitty blind.
Wow. Sauna? What?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's kind of nice. It only took him a day and a half to figure it out, I guess.
He quit rubbing sticks together, I think, and finally used a lighter. I don't know.
Magnifying glass?
I got to ask him and see what happened. I don't know.
Oh, that David Boggs, what a guy. I guess that's the hard knocks of learning how to hunt.
Well, you bring them guys from southern Indiana up here, and put them in snow, and, I guess they got to learn the hard way.
Yeah, unfortunately, they have to drive through snow going home.
Yeah,
but,
right.
How was your overall experience?
I loved it here. it's so beautiful, and it's different from Indiana. So.
Gotta like it, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, am I right in saying that where most of you hunt down in southern Indiana, are you hunting like open fields, ag fields, and things like that, or are you hunting timber, or what's the makeup down there where you guys hunt?
Mostly timber in the woods.
Okay, national forest?
No.
Private land then. Okay, all right. So,
not like Ohio.
No, a lot of open land with what I'm used to, where my in-laws live. Yeah, it's a lot of open land.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like down where Clint Turner's at down there in Illinois. Same thing down there when I was down there. A lot of open land, a lot of ag fields. So, but no, we're glad that you got up here, had a good opportunity, to see something a little different. Actually, did you get to do any of the fishing up here? Were you part of that?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, I think that was mainly Paul and that's right, Laramie. I forgot you were in on that. You were in on that too. Yeah, and Rick. Yeah. Just quickly, you got a sandwich in your mouth, but I'm going to stick a microphone in your face again. You had you caught your first trout, am I right?
Yeah. It was the first trout I ever went fishing for.
What was that like fishing for something like that?
Oh, it was it was different because we're using a different kind of bait, but just threw it across the ice and let it slide across the ice and drop right in the edge of the ice, and sometimes they'd hit it real fast and real hard, and it was bending the pole looked like a U.
So they're doing a little ice fishing up here.
Little ice fishing?
Fishing over the edge of the ice.
Over the edge of the ice, not through a hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to do it through the hole.
It was funny watching because when Paul, he was out there on the end of the dock he had first one he caught, and we're all standing inside looking through the window going, he's going to fall off the dock because there was snow on the dock. He's going to fall in the water, and we're all taking bets on if he's going to fall in the water or not, But, yeah, he landed a fish. Actually got it up on the ice, so it was kind of cool watching him land them like that.
Excellent.
But yeah, we had fresh fish, too, that first night here at camp, which was excellent. So, yeah, all in all, it was a real good time.
Excellent. So it sounds like we're 2 for 2 with the happy campers.
Yeah, I think so. So we got one more gentleman here that we need to talk to. You want to take our last break here, step outside, and get him in here?
Look at him waiting. He's waiting to get on the microphone.
Yeah, I think so. I heard he's Mr. Gabby. He talks a lot, so we might have to pry it out of him. I don't know.
We might.
All right, we'll step outside. We'll be right back after this next break.
The 2015 Dream Season Decree is a deadly combination of speed and precision. It's built for the moments when time stands still. When the only thing that will break the silence is an arrow slicing a clean path to the kill zone. The bow of your dreams is a nightmare for big game. This is PSE's Decree. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. Last segment of the show. Saved a little bit of our time here at the end so we can talk to some of the adults as well. But we definitely want to get Gavin Bartholomew on.
Mr. Quiet.
Well, that's what I heard.
I heard from what I heard from the guys driving up, he maybe said 4 words.
Yeah, that's about it.
And the only words were spoken was to make sure that he was actually in the vehicle.
Yep. And then he sat with me the first evening.
Oh, okay. So, Gavin, obviously you got out Friday morning hunting, didn't you?
No.
Feather Ridge.
Man.
They all hunted Feather Ridge.
I don't blame you, though, getting in at 4 a.m. But how was your first? Did you have heat in your blind with your guide on the first night?
We had a heater, but it was not turned on.
He wouldn't let me turn it on. I just want to make that clear.
Mike was cold. But he wouldn't want to admit it to you. That's his problem. He just didn't want to admit
I
it.
kept asking, Gavin, you cold? No, I'm fine. Hour later, Gavin, you cold? No, I'm fine.
You couldn't take it, could you?
I was cold. My feet were getting cold, but I wasn't going to admit it.
You were not gonna admit it, were you?
Not to a Southern Indiana kid that come up here to Michigan and he was handling it and I was getting cold. No, I was not going to admit that. But he hung tough. Yeah, we didn't use the heater.
First time muzzle loading?
Yes.
First time in Michigan?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about your first evening. What'd you see?
We seen about 14 deer, and I think 4 of them were does.
Did you get to shoot one?
No.
Oh. Did you see button bucks too?
Yes.
Oh, the old button buck syndrome. Seems to be a common theme too.
We had 7 button bucks in the field at one time. And there was something interesting. He said, I've never seen 6 deer together, let alone 6 or 7 deer together at one time, let alone 7 bucks.
Wow, so that must have been exciting.
So that, you think about that dynamic of what they're used to hunting, and then coming up and seeing all of them running around up here.
Absolutely. You know what? That's one of the things. So it's pretty excited to see all that happening, right? First night out.
Yes.
That's exciting. Mike's freezing, but you're warm. You must have had some good boots. So when you see all these deer and you're muzzle loading for them, what's going through your mind? You're getting all nervous?
Yes. I was very nervous.
Were you very nervous? I figured you would be because at any moment you're going to be shooting, but you didn't shoot it all on Friday night.
No.
Okay, so you seen deer. You get to Saturday morning. How was this morning's hunt?
This morning was good. We seen 8 deer.
Now, who was your guide?
Rick Rangel.
Oh, we got a change in guide. Was your blind warm then?
Yes.
Okay, so Rick's. Okay, so only person that
And
had
guess
cold
who
blood,
set that blind up?
Mike Adams.
Yeah, that's right. That's want to make that clear.
Just so we know, the only
Mike had heat all the time.
Oh, Mike had heat all the time. That's very nice. All right, how many deer you see this morning?
We've seen 8 deer this morning and 6 this afternoon.
This morning, did you see any bucks or any does, button bucks? What did you see this morning?
We've seen about 3.
3? All right. But you didn't get to pull the trigger on any of those?
No.
Not till this afternoon. All right. I was at the end of the field when all this took place.
You were down in a tree stand.
I was in a tree stand.
Hunting the swamp edge.
Yeah, and which was pretty good. It was I got my encounter, which made me happy, kept me warm. But actually, Gavin here had we got out about 1:30 today, 1:30, 2 o'clock. Got all city, but about 3 o'clock something happened. You saw some deer.
Yes.
And you went to shoot the deer.
Yep.
And what happened?
Well, the first doe I shot at, my gun didn't go off.
Now it didn't go off. The cap didn't go off. The cap didn't. Nothing happened. Why?
Because I didn't have the safety off all the way.
So you got to take the safety off all the way because it screws in, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So deer. Okay. So you go to pull it. You pull the trigger. The hammer falls, but the safety's not fully engaged.
No.
What happened to the deer?
Deer just stood there.
And you shot again?
Yes.
And what happened?
It didn't go off again.
Why?
Because I didn't figure out that it was the safety was off.
Okay. Where did the deer go?
Still stood there.
Okay. Now, did you shoot again?
Yes.
What happened?
This time we figured out that the safety wasn't twisted all the way, so I fixed that and shot, and the cap did go off, but the bullet didn't.
Oh, so you just had the small bang without the big boom.
Yep.
Oh.
That was twice tonight. So I think down at Backwater they're going to have a special class on cleaning muzzleloaders.
I think so, too. That might be a good thing. But you know what? That is a learning moment. That's a quick learning moment. Did the deer take off then?
They walked to the edge of the field where we couldn't see them anymore.
All right. Well, that was about 3 o'clock. But then something happened actually, your guide stepped in at that point, kind of helped you out, cleaned I think you replaced the nipple on the gun or cleaned it and put it back and
cleaned it, yes.
Okay. And then so about 3:45, you kind of woke me up because you saw some deer.
Yeah.
What happened then?
Doe came straight out in front of us. Don't know where she came from. She came out of nowhere. And once we seen that she was a doe, I shot her.
And the gun went off this time?
Yes.
All right. And how far did it go?
It went about 50 yards straight out in front of us.
And just went right down?
Yep.
And that's how far a shot was it?
It was a 64.
No, 64-yard shot. And went 50 yards. Excellent. You know what? That's awesome. So we got somebody with a deer down.
Absolutely. Yep. Some good doe management happened tonight. And I also heard that once he shot the deer, the adrenaline dump kicked in, that he didn't stop talking.
That's what I heard. See, he went from Gavin no words to Gavin all words. And your guide said he didn't know you talked that much.
I don't normally. Well, it depends on what you get talking about.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Yes.
Excellent. So, that is really cool. I'm ecstatic that somebody got a deer to take home. That's
not going back empty-handed.
Not going back empty-handed. And Mr. Boggs pulled out his slicing and dicing tools and went to town.
Like a Ginsu chef out there taking care of that deer.
So
I've never seen a guy break out an apron to.
I wasn't going to go there because I was going to congratulate Gavin because I heard he won the pool.
Yeah, there was a little bit of let's say money on the line.
Money on the line, and because he got the first deer, which also was the biggest deer, you took it all.
Yep.
Not bad. Gets a deer, takes home the pots for the weekend, and you're up ahead. You're gonna be glowing on Monday when you go back to school, saying, "Hey, look what I did."
Went to Michigan, shot a deer, won some money.
That's right.
Life is good.
That's right. Absolutely. So that's cool. Good. I'm glad you had a good time and excited for you. You plan on having that deer mounted?
Yes.
Is that your first deer?
No, that's my third deer.
Okay, but you're gonna get this one mounted.
Yes.
Okay.
Being an out-of-state hunt, he's gonna take care of it that way, so he has something to remember it by.
Excellent. Good deal. So Rick was your guide.
Yep.
Rick got you a deer.
Yep.
And got you in a warm blind.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Rick was 3 for 3.
Yes, he was. It sounds like
I was 2 for 3.
You're. But you know what?
But we had opportunity.
Heat.
Yeah, we had heat, and he had opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know that's one thing. If nobody got anything, everybody had opportunity.
Absolutely.
But somebody got something. That's just the bonus.
Yep. That's the icing on the cake.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah, it was a good week. I learned a lot just hanging with the kids and watching them have fun. I think sometimes I take hunting way too seriously. I get amped up, worry about, is the buck big enough? Should I let it walk? Worry about trail cam photos, worry about deer management. I worry about food plots, and like you and I have talked so many times, 365. But the last 2 days I've got to sit back and be a guide. I've guided for my children, and that's a different dynamic. But when you're guiding for kids and they're having a ball, it reminds me why we do this.
Absolutely.
It humbled me to be able to sit with kids and watch them just enjoy being out in the woods. And I think it helped me to remember, don't take things so doggone seriously all the time.
Learn to step back and
step back,
enjoy the scenery,
moment.
right?
Yep, enjoy the scenery and enjoy the moment.
Absolutely.
We got to hear coyotes tonight. That was cool.
That was cool. We were standing at the intersection there, and it was dark, and we were kind of talking off something. They started firing up, and I don't know but wherever I hear them, I still get that chill. It's like wow.
Yep.
So
the yodeling yotes. It's always cool to hear them.
They were going at it. So,
Mr. Boggs, Mr. Adams, you guys want to come down, chat real quick? Get you on.
It's warm at this end of the table.
Rick, Paul, you guys want to come over real quick? Kind of get your guys' take on it. Kind of the way you thought things went this weekend, and maybe the one thing that especially Rick, you kind of keep me in on this about you learned a lot up here. You said this weekend
he learned to look a lot through binoculars.
Yes, I did. The chart that we used, that you showed us on the wall, it made things tough, really tough, because that's the first time that I had to pick what we were shooting at. And I actually took a picture of it and took it to the blind so we could study it.
Oh, you did? You took one with your phone?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I'd pop it out and we'd look at it. So when the kids seen deer come in, the first thing we do is we'd look at 3-4 different things, and then we decided what it was. And that puts pressure on you.
I guess from our standpoint, it's the one thing I didn't want to do is have pressure on you guys, and that's why I said, if something happens out there, it happens. We're not going to worry about it. So,
well, I started doubting myself after Gavin shot that deer. I was like, I know that was a doe, and I asked him, but then I started doubting. What if it was a spike?
I've done that with my kids. The same thing, because the guys around here, we try to watch that real close, make sure that we're on does when we're doing doe management. But there's times when things do happen and you make mistakes. My daughter, she shot a yearling doe last year, and after she shot, I did the same thing. I'm like, because it was by itself, and when they're by themselves, they're a little bit harder to judge size-wise, number one, when they're in the middle of a field and you have nothing else to compare them to size-wise. And then you're like, oh, man. As you're walking up to it, I said, I hope it's not a button buck. And then you have to take that look. And I remember you're like, oh, Lord, please let it be a doe, let it be a doe. And I kicked the leg over. And you said, is it a doe? And I hesitated just for a moment, so I had you on the hook.
Yep.
And I turned around and I said, well, does a buck have teats? And you're like, thank you. That's a doe.
I was relieved because I started doubting, and we discussed it, and we just kept. I said, no, it was a doe. And then you sit there, and the more you thought about it.
Right.
Then we had another deer come in, and we were looking at that one and kept saying, and we did see some things that we thought were does that were actually button bucks. But there was different things we looked at. But it took us a while to figure out what.
Right.
But it was great.
Well, you learned some things along the way, but you had fun as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Kids were great.
They were. They really were. They were really good sports.
Put me in the blind with the heat. Thank you.
I took care of you on that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Unlike Dave. Now, David, I don't know what happened with him over there.
Yep.
Don't shake your head at me, Dave.
Man, you're getting a bum rap, Dave. You're the guy with no heat.
I'll defend myself in a minute.
We'll talk to Dave in just a second. Paul Anderson's here from Backwater Legacy. Paul, thank you for bringing these kids up. Thank you for letting them have some fun in Michigan.
Oh, well, thank you for giving us the opportunity.
It
was fantastic.
We got to learn a few things about each other. As Danny said, or maybe as Randy said, we know football. You guys know basketball.
Yeah.
But one thing we did is we all know about deer hunting, and we all got to share that experience this weekend with these kids, and that to me was worth $1 million.
That's right. It's a, and for myself, just. As you know, we've been doing this quite a while with kids and running the academies down in Indiana, and having the opportunity now to share an actual hunt with them out of state. It's a real treat. Even if you're hunting whitetails like you hunt down, in Indiana, it's fun to go on a road trip.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you go on a hunting road trip, that's even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're very thankful that Birch Creek and yourselves would treat our kids up here. That camaraderie that we share with you guys now, and just to share that also with some of my other guys that have not had a chance to come up and do something like this or to catch trout. Some of these guys caught their first trout ever and never even seen one, including my son who never had.
There was a lot of debate and a lot of betting going on if you were going to fall through the ice out there off the end of the dock.
I was going to get that fish.
You were determined.
You raised the stakes on me a little bit.
I was very impressed with the fact that you caught dinner. Because I've seen so many people fish out there and never catch one, and they're tough. And
I spent 15 years in Wyoming, so there was a little bit of trout man behind me.
Well, you put dinner on the table, and I'm thankful for that. That was good.
Well, it was great.
Nothing better than a fresh fish dinner.
Absolutely.
Especially
not only did he catch them, but he cooked them as well.
Yeah, cooked them up, and everybody
good
had
stuff.
a nice warm meal, and you come back, especially without heat.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot about no heat in the blind.
I don't
and normally David's got a lot of hot air. I'm surprised he just did.
Jeez, my own people.
Man, they're just piling on now.
There's no love. My own people are attacking me.
But no, I want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. I'm humbled that you've allowed us to treat our kids up here, and we'd love to see you again. And we're very grateful to be here. Can't say enough about it.
We're going to try to do this. Let this not be just a one-time deal. A lot of this depends on obviously where we're at with our doe numbers. But if we can do this, if we're lucky enough to be able to do it on an annual basis, we're going to try to extend that courtesy. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for having enough faith in us to bring these kids up and allowing us to be able to share a little bit of our Michigan outdoors with these kids.
It changes lives.
It does.
It's more than deer hunting.
I told you when I was down there in Indiana, it changed my life. It's what you guys do is really tremendous.
Well, thank you.
Before we do let you go, tell people how they can find out about Backwaters.
Sure. The best way to find out a little bit more about our programs is through our website at www.backwaterlegacies.org. And there you can find more about our academy. We're best known, as you know, we talked before about our Youth Hunters Academy, and it's a 4-summer program altogether, merit-based. We have now nearly 200 kids involved in the program, both as not only cadets but also as junior counselors, which were the youth that were up here this weekend. They've been in the program now, some of them 5-6 years, and we have some that have gone through the program and are now college. 21 years old and are now getting their certifications to come back as instructors. So it's hats off to a program that just keeps them coming back, but hopefully we can instill in them the giving and the the attitudes that we've shown towards them, and the accountability such that they'll carry this program through, and then they can. That's all I could ever ask is learn that someone gave you a hunt once.
Right.
You take the time, take the effort to give someone else one. When it's another child, and that's how we'll carry on that legacy. So, but look us up. Look, if you want to get involved or you'd like to have an academy in your area. I know we're looking to expand those here in the near future. That's something that we're looking forward on doing here this next year is reaching out and building affiliations. And so if we can do something like that in someone's area, we'd love to be up here.
And it's not just for kids in Indiana. You got kids that come from, I remember you saying Iowa?
North Carolina, Iowa. Yeah, they come from all over.
Right on.
You bet.
So I guess the last person we got to hear from is Mr. No Heat.
Hi.
Are we going to call him Snow Miser or Heat Miser?
Good question, Mr. Cold.
Well, let's cover basic mechanics first. This was a Mr. Buddy heater, and I learned a lot this weekend on how to take one apart and put it together.
You took it apart?
I took it apart. I fixed it. It does work now. There's a little safety switch in there. If it falls over, it shuts itself off automatically. Well, that thing was frozen open, and we had no idea. So I put it back together. It worked fine, and Eric and I had a nice little sauna in there. We had 2 heaters going, and I've never hunted in 80 degrees before in the middle of January in Michigan, or in December, excuse me.
That's good. Now, with a military background, you guys got to learn how to field strip items and put them back together. So that's probably where that came from.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
adapt, improvise, and overcome.
There you go. Overall, what's your thought about this week?
Great.
Weekend?
It was a weekend of service. These kids are, we've got thousands of kids to pick from. These are the best kids that we have. These are the best. This is a rewards trip for our kids. These kids are here because they were exceptional. They were voted among their own peers by unanimous vote, and then also as a staff, we all and all the instructors, we got together and we voted. And these are the best. These guys continuously go above and beyond and assist with everything from archery tournaments to feeding the hungry. These guys, these are the kind of kids that we want to have in this world, to change the world. And this is the best of them. And I was here, and my goal, my mission was to try to make them successful and make this the best trip that I could, and we put in our best effort doing that. And, it's always great to see many, many deer. There's been days when I froze to death and not saw anything.
Absolutely.
That never happens up here at Birch Creek.
Well, I don't know.
Or it never happens to me.
Yeah, I've been out in stands before, and I froze, and I've not seen deer. I mean, that's the one thing is, we do have quite a few deer here. We're lucky to be able to have deer, to be able to see like that, and that's one reason that we had this doe management hunt. It was because we do have quite a few deer. We need to thin the herd down a little bit, but it's still hunting. There's no guarantees. What made me happy was that they saw deer and they had opportunity, and that's why we call it hunting and not killing.
That's right. We had plenty of opportunity. Laramie and I, we were covered up. At one point, we had 19 deer standing in the field, and only 3 of them were does. Mm-hmm. And then when Erica, every sit we had, 4 was the least I saw. I think Gavin said they saw 8. The least anyone saw for our day and a half of hunting, was 4 deer. Mm-hmm. And what do you say about that? And the 7 point, they're all up close and personal, and Erica got to hear, a little fawn bleat for her first time. He come 15 yards in front of us, and he's going, Mom, where are you at? 4 or 5 times, 15 yards away. She's never been that close to a deer. The 7-point buck was at 35 yards, and I gave him a little grunt, and he stopped and made a perfect picture for us, and we got some good pictures of it. And I know it's killing her. She's never killed a deer, and that was the only disappointing thing about it was, but that's hunting, and we had a good talk about that. Yeah. I wanted, if Will could have done it, it would have got done. Right. But we did our best, and we had fun.
Right. And that's the important thing, is that they had a good experience.
Absolutely.
So, these kids, like I said, have taught me a lot when I was down there at camp, and they've taught me even more things this week up here, or these 2 days up here. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to have you guys back up here again soon.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I enjoy every time I come up here. I enjoy the camaraderie. I appreciate the support on multiple levels from the organization, from personal level. Yourself, John, all the other guys in camp. Dan coming in here at the last minute and trying to be a hero.
I wasn't trying to be no hero. I was just trying to get up in a tree and see something to shoot at.
Yeah, your guys' support, everybody that's here, it means so much to me and means so much to the organization. John Regal for his support. This is another one of those opportunities. I know you guys get tired of hearing me say this, and the Up North Journal, Birch Creek, everybody's such a great. This is all great organizations, and we appreciate your support.
I appreciate what you guys do for the kids, man. That's just where I'm just going to leave it laying right there. That's what it's about. That's what this whole thing's been about this week. And like I said, it humbled me, and it made me check myself. So, that's what we do, and that's why we do it.
Yep, absolutely. All for the kids. And these kids, my heart gets bigger every time I do something with them.
Absolutely.
So I'll leave it at that.
There you go.
Well, before I wrap the show, Dan, what happened to you tonight? I stuck you in a tree stand. I was going to see how well you could adapt to the cold weather.
I did well.
You did pretty good. I was impressed. You stayed out in a tree stand in the blow tonight. And
oh yeah, you know what? It was. It was. I was using the PSE tonight, and I got up in the tree, and 15 minutes sitting there, and here comes a deer, and I was like, oh boy,
here we go.
And you know what? It took me a second to start reacting.
Because of the cold?
No. Because I'm not used
to seeing deer?
Well, no. Because in the upper, we can't shoot does.
Oh, right on.
So I was just like, okay, there's a deer.
And you're like,
I'm like, well, wait a second.
I can shoot that.
I might be able to shoot this one. Hold on. And then I glassed her, and yeah, it was a doe. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. But then she busted me she was at the 11-yard mark, and she busted me. And she headed towards the field, which I thought they were going to get a shot at her, but I guess not. So, but it kept me warm. It was cold. It snowed, which is I love to sit out there during that. So that made it.
It was beautiful tonight.
It was that snow coming down. It was nice. I saw a total of 3 deer, but like you said, getting up here and just being outside, I had a great night. And then listening to the kids' stories was just icing on the cake.
Right on. I was. When you're coming up, I'm trying to think, okay, where am I going to put them? I needed to put you in a place where you weren't going to be in line of fire, where everybody was sitting, but I wanted you to have an opportunity tonight. And actually, I put you on probably my best stand. I said, please, if anything comes through tonight, let it be Night Train, and let them have an opportunity, because I wanted to see you shaking your boots.
I would have been shaking, but no, he didn't show his face tonight. I hope that you pull those pictures on that trail camera that I grabbed off the tree, and I wonder if he's going to be on there.
I'm hoping, because the few that I've pulled so far this week, since I've been up here, we've not seen him yet. And I seen him last on November 9th, and I'm pretty sure he's still around. I know nobody around the area has shot anything of that caliber, so my hope is if we don't get him tomorrow, then he makes it through the winter.
There you go.
We see him next year, and he's just going to be
that much better,
an even bigger buck. So.
Absolutely.
But it's been a good week. I appreciate y'all coming up. Appreciate everybody and everything y'all have done. I appreciate you helping me here with some doe management and helping with the kids and the food and everything at camp. It's just been a really good time. So, I guess we're looking towards Christmas now.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah.
T-minus 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Right on. So, you guys all be good out there, and hopefully Santa Claus brings some presents. And
we showed everybody. We stopped at Cabela's and
Yep.
Talked with the big guy, and
Yeah.
got our list. So we're ready.
I'm ready, and actually, I'm going to post pictures. UNJ Gnome made an appearance this
Really?
week at camp. Yes, he was in the blind tonight, so we'll have some pictures out. He actually managed to make it out this week. So.
All right, and he didn't get cold.
Nope.
He
didn't
wasn't
get
with
cold.
David Boggs.
No, he was with me. So, all right, folks, that'll do it for us this week. You guys just be good out there. Remember, if you're out in the field or on the water, be safe, shoot straight. We'll talk to you again next week. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.